Key events and their impact on stock market. The key events like monetary policy and gross domestic product growth rate have a long and lasting impact on the stock market. First, let us take a look at gross domestic product or GDP. GDP is the value of all the final goods and services produced in the country in a financial year. When GDP rises, it signifies growing economic activity. When GDP falls, it signifies falling economic activity. Main components of GDP are service sector, industrial sector, and agricultural sector. Increase in the output of any of the components would mean increase in GDP. Now, let us take a look at the current and capital account components. Current account looks similar to income statement of the company, where income components are export income, income from foreign investments, money sent back by Indians working abroad, and interest earned on debt given to foreign countries. All this when deducted by expense components, which include import expenses, payment to foreign investors, money sent back to home countries by foreigners working in India, and interest paid on debt taken from foreign countries. If the current account surplus is increasing or deficit is decreasing, then it is a good sign for the economy and vice versa. Current account surplus is when income is more than expenses or the difference is positive. Current account is deficit when expenses are more than income or the difference is negative. Now let us look at capital account components. Firstly, capital outflow, in which FDI or foreign direct investment consists of India's capital investment overseas. FPI or foreign portfolio investment consists of Indians buying foreign countries' shares or bonds, and other investments consist of capital outflow from Indian accounts. Capital outflow represents change in domestic ownership of foreign assets. Secondly, capital inflow, in which FDI or foreign direct investment consists of foreign capital investment in India. FPI or foreign portfolio investment consists of foreigners buying Indian shares or bonds, and other investments consist of capital inflow into Indian accounts. Thus, capital inflow represents change in foreign ownership of domestic assets.
Apart from the above, capital account also comprises of reserve account transactions, which account for the country's holding of foreign exchange reserves and gold, etc.
Now, let us look at how monetary policy impacts markets. Objective of monetary policy is to control the money supply in the economy. Just like the driver with the help of steering wheel directs the car in the right direction, similarly, RBI, through its monetary policy, increases and decreases the money supply in order to speed up or slow down the economy. Let us see how money supply affects the economy. When interest rates rises, both consumer borrowing and spending is reduced, and economic activity and money supply fall. When interest rates are reduced, both consumer borrowing and spending rises, and economic activity and money supply rise. But what affects interest rates? Banks borrow money from RBI for short-term requirements at a rate called repo rate. When repo rate rises, interest rate rise, and if repo rate falls, interest rate also fall. A cash reserve ratio, also called as CRR, is where all banks are required to deposit some proportion of their deposits with RBI. A statutory liquidity ratio, or an SLR, is where all banks are required to hold a certain proportion of their deposits in the form of gold and government securities. Repo rate, CRR, and SLR are fixed by RBI.